Here we are.
By far the best of the first 7 pictures Cary Grant ever acted in, all 7 released in 1932, undoubtedly was this unusual Marlene Dietrich vehicle, Blonde Venus, directed by the legendary Joseph von Sternberg at the peak of his career and his romance with Dietrich. It was only Cary's 5th movie. He was 28, and still a not very unusual, if very handsome, straight leading man.
This is a dream, Helen. I hope I never wake up. Let me come backstage, will you?
I seem to remember you came backstage once before.
The following year, the great Mae West herself picked Cary as her first leading man in her first starring film, based on the Broadway hit play she wrote for herself, Diamond Lil. Retitled She Done 'Em Wrong, directed by Lowell Sherman, it featured the most often quoted and usually misquoted line of Mae West's career, and spoken to Cary Grant.
Why don't you come up sometime, see me? I'm home every evening.
Yeah, but I'm busy every evening.
Busy? So what are you trying to do, insult me?
But it wasn't really until 3 years later, not until Cary's 21st picture, that the public finally got even a partial look at the actor and personality into which Cary Grant was to evolve. Director George Cukor, whose first this was of 3 films with Grant, told me once that it was the first time as an actor that Cary felt the ground under his feet. He suddenly seemed liberated. It was very exhilarating to see. The picture was Sylvia Scarlett, Cary's first of 4 opposite Katharine Hepburn, and although the studio hated the movie, recut it, and the picture was a box office bomb in its day, 1936, yet it remains one of the most unusual and unorthodox of 30s comedies, and as Variety said way back then, Cary Grant still steals the picture.
Yeah. Who am I? Jimmy Monkey, gentleman adventurer. One of the Orcs.
Hawks? Oh, Hawks, Hawks.
Yeah, Orcs, Orcs, the word Orcs.
Nevertheless, not till over a year and 8 other pictures later, with Cary's 29th movie, did Grant appear in the kind of role and type and tone he was to play variations on for much of his subsequent career. The director was the amazing Leo McCarey, and author Garson Kanin told me once that on this picture, Grant was, in many ways, emulating director McCarey. In any event, in Leo McCarey's The Awful Truth, with Irene Dunne top billed, there, suddenly full-blown, is the Cary Grant the world came most to adore. The bemused and witty urban gent who could be romantic and clumsy, a dunce and a Don Juan, without really skipping a beat.
Take it.
Leo McCarey, the man who first teamed Laurel and Hardy, told me once that Grant was so nervous about this skin-shedding experience that at first he asked to be replaced or perhaps to switch roles with Ralph Bellamy. Well, luckily the studio refused. Cary relaxed into the part, and what emerged was the first real Cary Grant movie, and still one of the freshest classics of American screen comedy.
So long as I'm different, don't you think that, well, maybe things could be the same again? Only a little different, huh?
You mean that, Jerry? You sure?
Mm-hmm.
No more doubts? No more being...
With The Awful Truth, Cary hit his stride with a magical strength, a strength that propelled him over the next few years to the top rank of international stars, as a remarkably rich series of performances followed, all of Cary's own choosing, since he was never again under a studio contract, and had a piece of the action since around 1940, earlier than any of his contemporaries. The year after The Awful Truth, in 1938, there was his 3rd picture with Katharine Hepburn, his 2nd with director George Cukor, Holiday, based on the Broadway play by Philip Barry, with Cary as a working man among the very rich.
Now the world's changing out there. There's a lot of new, exciting ideas running around. Some of them might be right and some might be cockeyed, but they're affecting all our lives. They want to know how I stand, where I fit into the picture, what it's all going to mean to me.
And the year after that, in 1939, Cary starred in 2 very popular adventure pictures, Grant's first non-comedy successes.
Well, what of that?
First is part of a trio, and without carrying the love interest, in George Stevens' Kipling-based Gunga Din. And second, as the romantic lead in Howard Hawks' flying drama, Only Angels Have Wings, opposite both Jean Arthur and a newcomer named Rita Hayworth. With this second of 5 pictures Grant would do with director Hawks, Cary cinched his career as both a top comedian and top dramatic actor. With his 33rd film in 7 years, Cary Grant was fully born.
I'll look you up in New York sometime.
What?
What? Huh?
You say you look me up in New York sometime.
Sure.
When
Sure, I'll see you there. Can I say?
When are you coming?
Next week, 2 o'clock. Hey, I like that saying goodbye. Let's try it again, huh? So long, Bonnie.